Salutations everybody, it is Matty here today with a news update for The Outer Worlds. As a lot of you have already noticed, some of you may not have, I dialed back The Outer Worlds coverage just a little bit on the channel since our big preview spree in August, and that's because as a person who's a gigantic fan of Obsidian Entertainment, and as someone who's very excited for the game in general as a gamer, I wanted to not burn myself out and slow things down a little bit, especially since not a lot of news was happening, and really conserve my Outer Worlds content energy for when the game's out so I can create a lot of guides for you guys, walkthroughs, discussion videos, and the like that you would expect from me. So that's why things have been a little bit slow, but welcome to 2019 Gaming, where we're going to be talking about a future of a studio before their brand new game comes out in just a month. Yes, as of today, there is only one single month until The Outer Worlds, so I am pretty excited to let that reality set in. Anyway, we're talking about some job listings over at Obsidian and some comments about the future of Obsidian after The Outer Worlds launches. So Obsidian actually says they are absolutely interested in a sequel for The Outer Worlds. Now, when I tried to get some answers during my interview, I was a little less successful.
Would you rather make a sequel or DLC?
I mean, I couldn't really speculate. Like, I think right now everyone's just really focused on getting this game finished.
Right.
Still, it seems like maybe then wasn't the time to talk about it. Now it seems to be the case. And so, yes, we can hopefully imagine that Obsidian will create a sequel for The Outer Worlds. I think a lot of this really does depend on sales performance. Is The Outer Worlds going to be a hit? I think it'll be a situation where a lot of people are going to play the game thanks to Xbox Game Pass, where yes, you can get it day and date on Game Pass. A lot of people do not know that. But anyway, there is a tweet from Clobril who says Obsidian Entertainment just opened 12 new positions. The studio, as already reported before, now lists over 200 employees, so they're really climbing up there into that AAA space. Their next game is going to feature Unreal Engine 4, a day-night cycle, first-person melee and ranged combat gameplay, AAA, and high-profile role-playing game. In the link in the description down below, I will have the linked in section where you can look through all of these job listings. But as I went through a lot of them, what I found most interesting is one part that was not noted in this tweet, which is that the next game from Obsidian Entertainment will seemingly, according to these job listings, be multi-platform. Now, I don't know if that just means PC and Xbox, right? Because they're owned by Microsoft, so presumably everyone's thinking their next game is going to be a Microsoft exclusive product, which would certainly make sense given the situation they're in. But when they're saying multi-platform instead of PC and Xbox like they did in separate job listings, that's a bit of a head scratcher. Anyway, the tweet does manage to cover pretty much anything of significance within these job listings, which I think is really exciting that they're going to head into that AAA space, because one misconception with The Outer Worlds is that this is a AAA game when it's not. It does not have the budget or the financing for that. Certainly they're going to be making a lot of money from this game, I believe, thanks to the Epic Game Store deal, which we now have a little bit of a sample size thanks to Control on how much money is going into these Epic game deals. And I can't imagine The Outer Worlds or Borderlands 3 were cheaper games on Epic's list. But the idea that there's going to be a day-night cycle, they're hiring for first-person combat, it does fall in line a little bit with a lot of what The Outer Worlds is. So some have speculated, is it The Outer Worlds 2? I think it's way, way, way too soon to even wager a guess about that. Once again, let's pay attention to the sales. Once that happens, I think that's when that type of stuff is a go. But then again, I also believe that Obsidian is sitting in a much more comfortable financial position than they have been for a long while, and that is indicated by their willingness to expand and do hirings, because you have to think of being purchased by Microsoft on top of the Epic Game Store cushion, and there is substantial interest and hype behind your next game. I think that is really a combination that is going to throttle this team forward. And we also have to keep in mind that Borderlands 3 is now showing us an example of a game that had huge backlash because of the Epic Game Store and still managed to find substantial success on the PC. Now, this doesn't really please me, so to say, but it shows that people are willing to say screw it if it means that they get access to a game they're very interested in or that looks good. And I've always been of the mindset when it comes to gaming that my hate for a platform or a launcher does not override my love for games. So if I'm one of you guys and you're excited for The Outer Worlds, take an open, honest interest in it, because I think what is there from what I previewed looks excellent, and I think you shouldn't let a launcher push you away, even if that launcher is not very good. So you're starting to see a little bit of balancing out. You're starting to see how often these people yelling on the internet can look like thousands upon thousands, but when the money signs start showing, it seems like people are picking up the games anyway, or at least in the case of Borderlands 3, which is naturally going to be one of the most popular games of the year, so this could just be an outlier. Time will tell as we get more data, but I thought this was an interesting news update for the future of Obsidian, and it's going to be a quick news update from me today, ladies and gentlemen, so I'm going to close it down now. I'd love to hear from you in the comments down below. What do you think of The Outer Worlds? Are you excited for it still? Do you think it's strange that things are a little bit quiet on the front of The Outer Worlds? Let me know. Other than that, follow me on Twitter, follow me on Instagram. Those links are in the description down below, along with my Patreon. Do consider supporting that as it fuels all the content I create here. Stay sexy, stay active. I love you all. Peace.